Yeah, it would work if the mic was actually the right mic. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to hear me very well, are you? Hi, welcome. Happy to see y'all. Hi, Enrique. I said hi, but I think it was probably not audible. Um, Today we're going to be continuing to work on our assistant, which is up and running. So we have it hosted on DigitalOcean. As you can see, it's been up. It's been up for a couple weeks now. And our Rasa X instance is up and running. And you can see we talked to it last week. And what has happened so far is that we are using Docker Compose. We've got our Rasa X instance up. We've got all the appropriate databases and stuff. Yeah. Uh, fixed it. 30 seconds in. Okay. Fabulous. Hi, Buena Polly. Welcome, welcome. So, Assistant is up. Action Server is up. What is not up is the database upon which the Action Server relies. So right now, if I try to talk to my assistant, hi, we learn a little bit about the assistant. It can answer questions that I get a lot, and as this gets up and I continue to improve it and people ask more questions, we'll be able to get a more and more useful assistant over time. Whatever you say will show up in stream. I think for me, I knew this because I'm streaming as I talk to my assistant. And if what I do is I ask for a resource, right, which is a question I get asked a lot, the slots are correctly extracted from this. The query resource action is correctly triggered. And we were looking at the logs last time, and I need to SSH in first before we can look at the logs. What happens is that the action server is triggered correctly and the action runs, but the action that we are running, plop in here, takes in this the text that the user passes in through the slots and uses them to run a query on a SQLite database. And the contents of the SQLite database is the same as the contents of this CSV file. There are 9 lines. One of which is actually not a line. So there's 8 lines. It's a very small database. And we should return information about what exactly is the specific resource, right? So if you ask for like a course about Rasa, right, or a course about NLP, you should be recommended this Rasa for Beginners course by Maddie that she made on Udemy. That one is free, by the way. So if you're interested in a course layout for this for getting started with Rasa, that's where you should go. The database, however, isn't where our action server expects it to be. It expects it to be, let me go down to the where we create the connection. So it expects it to be TB file. Yeah. Where do we point it to? Info rows, select by slot, get closest value, querying methods. Yeah, okay. So we expect it to be in the same directory where the assistant is being run, in a folder called edu_db, and it should be this resources db, not this resource db. Listen, there is some stuff behind the scenes. And it's not there, and as a result, when we try to connect that connection, we get an error on the server, and we don't tell the user anything. So one thing that I should probably do is I probably should do some sort of some sort of error, some sort of try. We'll handle that in the future. Right now, I really want to focus more on getting everything set up appropriately with Docker. But I will add that to my to-do because I don't think I have it in there. To-do, add error message if database file not found. Okay, so we'll do that in the future. That would have been helpful for me diagnosing things previously before y'all were very helpful and helped me find where the logs are. So that's where we are now. We have the database. We don't know where it is. And I have been doing some reading and research on my own. And one thing that we could do is we could, like where our app is in our Docker values, we could also create a database. I don't know what the term is for that. So it would be a container that had the database in it, and we would also tell our app how to find that database, and then we would need to change the code in our Python function so that it's not pointing to a specific file. Or we could somehow try and get our database in the file in the place where our assistant expects it. And that we might be able to do by updating the image that we're using for our action server potentially. So that's another thing that we could do. And I don't know which is going to be the better approach, but I think the easier approach is going to be to try. Okay, so I'll talk through my thinking here. I think the easier approach would be to try to put our database in the same place as our action file, right? So that everything is in the same container. The downside of that is that's not going to work super well long term, I don't think. So if my database gets really big, I don't necessarily want to have to hold my whole database in memory at the same time as I'm executing my actions. I want to be able to have a connector to the database and have the database be somewhere else. I think that'll work for us because our database is 8 lines, and I think it will probably work, you know, for the foreseeable future. There's relatively few resources that I'm willing to just like recommend to anybody. But in terms of like a demo for other people, I don't think that's the best approach for everyone. And the other thing that we could do is that we create a separate database in another Docker container, and then we point our action towards that, and then it queries that container. And I think that's probably the more extensible option and the better practice. Again, I've been reading, and that's what I've got from my readings. All right. Nelson says hi. Hi. Eden says hi. Hello. Is punctuation mandatory to get the correct answers? In Rasa? It depends whether or not you're removing punctuation. I believe. Sorry, that's me trying to remember the specifics of the white space tokenizer, assuming you're using the white space tokenizer. I believe punctuation are treated as tokens, so they will be features that are considered unless you remove them in your pipeline. But you should have, if you have enough examples, training examples of a wide enough variety, you should be able to have sort of whatever punctuation would make sense and a human would produce, and you should be able to have a system that can handle, you know, a wide variety of punctuation uses and styles. Is Dashbot good for analytics / dashboard? I don't think I've used Dashbot, so I do not know. Amina says, can you add buttons? I tried to do it and had weird bugs. I already posted in the forum, but it would have been helpful to see you do it. Yeah. We actually had buttons in this assistant, and then I removed them. So I think there is an example that we had maybe in January. It was a while ago. Yeah. Nick's asking for the forum link. Yeah, that might be helpful for folks. All right. So we should SSH in, huh? So we can actually take a look at our assistant in situ. I always gotta remember to get the space between the flag and the SSH there. And then that's where my key is for this project. It's a project specifically for this key. And then I gotta get the URL. Fabulous. I'm back. I always worry that I'm accidentally just gonna like type something plain text, which is why I do that, because I'm trying to be secure, y'all. Okay, we're SSH10. System restart required. Why? Why do we need the system restart? I'm just gonna ignore that for now, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I think it's gonna be required to upgrade certain packages that are upgradable. When was the last Rasa X release? Rasa X might have been upgraded. That could be it. I should know that off the top of my head, but I'm gonna be honest. I look at the date and it goes in one eye and out the other, and then I forget it entirely. Yeah. Buena Polly to Nick. After deployment to track sessions, number of user intents, using the event broker, is it good to use Dashbot? Yeah. I know that some of that stuff is going to be in Rasa X if you're using a Rasa X instance to help with those analytics. But I'm not going to get I'm not going to get too sidetracked. So nope. All right, so what I want to check right now is, do we already have a database in our, it's in Rasa, right? Specifically? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Listen. Yeah. All right, yeah, so I just want to really quickly check Docker Compose and see if we already have a database. So we've got Redis, we've got Nginx, we've got Duckling. Oh, they're hiring a developer advocate, I'm pretty sure. We've got Duckling. We're not using Duckling, but if we wanted to, it's there. We've got Rabbit. We've got... Okay, so we do have something called DB already. That's our PostgreSQL that I believe is storing our tracker store. So this is the information on the conversation, and this is what you will use to... you know, if you were doing your own analytics, that could be what you got from that. And then we've got the app, and then Rasa Worker, and then Rasa Production. So, Salesforce 5002, app.models, password salt, blah, blah, blah. Rasa X services, credentials. Okay. So what we could do is we could treat our assistant, the database that we're interacting with, as like another database, right? So we could create a new image that has it in it, and then we could expose it on a specific port, and then we can we probably don't actually need any passwords for this. We probably don't need any stuff like that. And then we can use the because it'll be this port, and within the Docker container we can point it to... I remember we literally just saw this. When we SSH in, I remember it saying that we can use sorry, I'm looking for a specific URL and I'm trying to scroll slowly. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we can use this address for Docker. Yeah, okay. So then instead of pointing to a file path, we can point to a URL. And I guess just sort of assume that we can hit those endpoints as if that was the file path locally. Mm? We can give that a try. And then folks talking about different ways of interacting with analytics and the tracker store in the chat. The other thing we could try, Ibisel says the restart is a problem for future Rachel. All right. Yeah, I'll kick the can on that. Kicking the can is like if you're walking down the road, kicking a can as you go. You'll deal with it in the future. And hi, Azizarino TV. I think that would be. It's always fun to try and figure out what folks' names are live. And apologies if I ever get your name wrong. And feel free to correct me. I'm always helpful for that. Thankful for that. Okay, so I feel pretty confident we can do this. I said it right. Ah, fantastic. I'm nervous, but you know, what's the worst that can happen? It's a very small instance. There's like a very small cap. Like even if it goes down in flames, that's fine. I'll just restart it. And I am honestly considering restarting this instance as Helm anyway, because I've found that I have had more ease with Helm and Kubernetes than with Docker Compose personally. So. All right. Yeah, okay, so this seems right to me. This seems like a reasonable thing to do. Yeah, Rajiv says everything can work. You know what? That would be great. I would love to see that. So what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to create a new let me pull up the docs. So we're gonna need to create a new image that just has the database in it. And as I remember, we were using this for something, but you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and delete this now so that I do not cause myself to be confused in the future because it's specifically resources.db. Fantastic. No, thank you. I would prefer not to. Thanks so much. Now is not the time. I am usually happy to take surveys. All right. Okay, so let's look at the creating an image. So Helm chart, Docker Compose, custom action server. Oh, configuring databases. Actually, this might be it. Okay, so this is specifically the databases that are storing your tracker store and not like random databases that you just want to use for some reason. And I guess the more normal way of doing it would be that you have the database hosted somewhere in a database specific platform. And I know someone mentioned last time that you can host it on DigitalOcean, but I feel like that's not going to be the most widely available option for folks. So, and then telemetry. All right, so what we're going to do is build a image, but instead of building the image of GitHub Action. Instead of building an image of our action server image, we're going to build a new image that points to a database. And we're going to see if I can figure out my way to do that. So, automating. That's not what I'm looking for. Yeah, Rashib says, I have multiple Linux instances, local but not GCP, and I want to deploy Rasa X such that if one machine goes down, the other one takes care of the context of the conversation. Can Helm, Chart, Docker, Kubernetes, everything work, or do I go somewhere specific between one of them? I would say that that is a deployment question that is beyond my current knowledge. I think the big problem there would be handling the lock store, I think. Um, I would ask on the forum. I think you're going to get a good answer from the forum as opposed to a bad answer from me. I am, my background's in data science and machine learning and natural language processing, and not DevOps, as you might have deduced from my my learning journey here on YouTube with y'all. All right, what do you building a server? Sorry, I am looking for the steps that we followed previously for building the action server image. And I maybe it's in the action server? No, I think this is just the I think this is just the SDK and API documentation. I don't think it's like specifically how to deploy the server. All right. Use Docker Compose. We started blah 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 manual install. So we used the manual install to install it, and then we had a bunch of stuff. Credentials, endpoints, blah blah blah, deployment environments, permissions on mounted directory, Postgres, custom action server. All right. And there we go. Okay, fantastic. So with the image of your custom action server, and then we'll add it there. So this is what we're going to do. My question, I guess, is that I don't know whether services need to have a specific name or if I can call them whatever I like, but I think we're about to find out. And then just restart them. Okay, fantastic. And then building the action server image. Pop that up. There we go. Also isn't locally. Building it in Docker. Building the action server image. If you build an image that includes your action code, start in a container registry. I definitely remember us walking through a tutorial together in the docs about creating the action server image, and I'm having a hard time finding it, and it might just be because I'm real tired. Did not sleep great last night. If you add the volume row in db section in docker compose.yaml to your app definition, it'll work too. It'll mount the volume in your APO container without the need to copy in your image. I know some of those words. If you add the volume row in the db section in docker compose YAML to your app definition, it will work too. Okay, so in our app definition, in the override, right? Docker compose YAML. No, I don't. Okay, so here's the Docker file we made for use a subdirectory as the working directory. Extend the Rasa SDK image. Maybe this is the easier thing to do. Okay. Copy any additional custom requirements if necessary. Uncomment the next line. Subdirectory is the working directory. Okay. Change back to root. Pip install. Best practice. SDK. This is the face of me wondering where it is specifying that we specifically want the actions.py file. And I think it's probably in the Rasa SDK that we are extending. And I also remember that we needed specifically to add the, excuse me. Excuse me. I'm glad I don't have that thing where you sneeze every time you look at bright lights, or otherwise this stream would be nothing but me sneezing. Maybe it's simpler than I'm making it. Woo. Maybe I just need to move my database into the actions folder and the whole folder gets copied. That might be easier. Randall says services don't have, since you are creating an action server, it defaults to that in the Docker compose override YAML. Okay. Your Docker file creates the action server image, but the Docker compose override YAML specifies which image to use for the action server, which is called the app in the Docker compose cluster. Yeah, so I think my specific question right now, because I'm gonna be honest, I want to mess with Docker as little as possible. So is there a way for me to easily add additional files to the action server? Because that would require the least work from me, and I am efficient, which is a nice way of saying lazy. Why not? Why not just give it a try? And then we can always change we can always revert to an older image if we want. Excuse me, because we're doing versioning with tags. So I'm just going to give that a shot and we'll see how it goes. Boop. Sure do. I do in fact want that. All right, and then let us, so it's going to be in the exact same directory. I don't even think I need to do that much. I think I just, because it's in the same directory, so I shouldn't need to specify the path to the same directory. All right, let's see if that works. And now we have to build our Docker image, and I need to remember all the commands in order. Oh, this is my favorite part. So I'm pretty sure it's docker build, docker push. Let's find out. Cool. I'm gonna do. This is where we have our Docker file, yeah? Yeah, all right. Docker build requires exactly one argument. Okay, fun. Build an image from a Docker file. I've got my Docker file. Options, path. Oh, gotcha. Great. Okay, so let's see if this works. And if it doesn't, we'll try something else. Enrique says, you're right, she's using the override one. I am using the override one. Yes, says, does Rasa have any videos regarding how to deploy a Rasa chatbot in Heroku using Docker on Windows? Can anyone help me, please? So we actually have, my recommendation to you would be that we have a Django example, and you can connect Django to Heroku pretty straightforwardly. They've got really good documentation on the Heroku site, so that's what I would do if you were looking for like a specific walkthrough. Your Docker file creates the action server image, but the Docker compose override specifies which image to use for the action server. Okay, which is called the app in the Docker compose cluster. Yeah. Okay, so this is starting to all click for me. So what I'm doing now. Cool. And now Docker push. Oh, I gotta name it. All right, let's go to my Docker hub. All right, so personal website, and then I'm gonna call it, I guess, like, oh, all right, I will just type it out. Person, and then the tag, which I'm gonna call with DB question mark. I'm not gonna put a question mark in it, but know that the The question mark. The push refers to directory does not exist. Tag does not exist. Am I gonna have to look up the Docker commands? Sure am. Do I have to create first and then push? Also, I misspelled create as crate, and apparently that's definitely something. Push to Docker Hub command line. I'm just searching in another tab. Docker push to share images to your Docker Hub. Refer to the Docker image tag. Go Docker push. Okay, push a new image to the registry. Push all tags of an image. All right. Okay, so Docker image push, and then it should be website bot. All right. And then with DB, maybe it's the underscore. This Docker tag does not exist. So I have to create the tag first? I think she adds another copy command to add the DB. Do you think that's right? Maybe. It's a good question. All right. Pushing new image to registry. First save the new image by finding a Docker container ID. And then committing a new image name. Note that those things are... Okay, so first... Docker... Container... Commit... Oh, that's right, that's right. And it's got to be whatever this one was called. All right, one sec. So Docker ls, nope. Docker ps to list all my current images? Yeah, I have none. So these would be... No, that lists containers. That lists containers that are running, not images. Docker container ls. Okay, but that should be... Yeah, okay, so that's the same thing. But it's not listing the image I just created. Did I create the image? Am I off my rocker? Could have sworn. You're building a Docker image file from window using cache. Docker build. Okay. I did that. I shouldn't have built it yet. It's okay. That's okay. Every time you learn a new process, it just takes some time. And that's what we're doing here. Okay. So push an image or a repository to a registry. Yeah. Okay, that's what we're doing. Use Docker image push to share your images to Docker Hub, registry, or to a self-hosted one. That's what I want to do. Cool. And I should be logged in, so I shouldn't have to worry about credentials here. Terminate the push option. Okay, so can I built it, but I don't think I created it, so I need to create the image first. Pretty sure. Let's find out. Docker create new image. Create a base image. All right. Whoop. Most Docker files start from a parent image. A base image has from scratch. Create an image using tar. Okay, create a parent image using Scratch. Okay, so I think this is creating the Docker file. And we already have a Docker file, so we don't need to create it. It is created. We do just need to push it. Update, install, build, and then interacting with it. And just assuming you build hello, blah, blah, blah. You can build the Docker image using the Docker build command. Don't forget the dot character at the end, which sets the build context to the current directory. All right. Okay, so it's Docker build tag and then the name of the tag. All right. Thank you. There is a little bit of a delay between me and the stream. I am not just ignoring you. And if I take the delay away, the video gets split into multiple videos constantly, and it's a huge pain in the butt. And the tag is with DB. Hopefully, we'll find out. Docker build requires exactly one argument. Oh, wait. Okay, so we had built it, but I think we built it without a tag. This is why. Okay. It's all coming together. So we built the image without a tag in the current directory. So when we tried to upload it, right, when we tried to push it to our repository, we got the error because we hadn't created an image with that tag. Sorry, creating is done. Creating is in the past. We had not built an image with the tag we were trying to upload. So when you were like, hey, upload, you know, this image with the tags didn't match, and that's why I got the error. Okay, it's all coming together. My understanding is increasing. All right, so now we should be able to do Docker push. Because now it's been built with the tag. Except, actually, I think we used a dash instead of an underscore. So that wasn't the problem. that wasn't what was wrong. My epiphany was wrong. Alright, successfully built, successfully tagged with DB latest. Non-window host. Okay, so something is wrong with my mental model of what's going on here. Docker image ls. Alright, so let's see what we've got. Okay. So, okay. Yes. I think I see the problem. I think I created... Also, I was confused between containers and images. Images are the blueprints for building containers, but a container is not an image. A container comes from an image. Very object-oriented. Okay, so I created a new image, and instead of having it have this name, and instead of having it have this name with a tag, it was created with this name, and then the tag latest was assigned. So what I need to do is I need to go back. Coffee. So what I need to do is I need to go back. Okay. Ugh. So I was right about what went wrong. So what we needed to do was Docker build, and then we need to do the whole rigmarole of the name, including the tag. Personnel website. And it's called that because I would like to eventually host this on my personal website. That is the eventual goal that we're hoping to get to. Okay, so what was happening was when I was like, hey, push this thing with this tag, with this name and this tag, the thing that was actually happening is that I was creating something with this name and a generated tag. Okay, it's coming together. I need to push to GitHub. So, Tullian said full tag is remote registry. Yeah. Thank you. I I appreciate that. And will I remember now? Good question. I don't know. I should really get like a Docker cheat sheet and just like there's no walls near me really. I guess I could post it on the green screen and you could just read it over my shoulder. Okay. So now we have created this image, so now we should be able to push, and we are pushing, just to be clear, to Docker Hub here, rather than GitHub. So I have my Docker Hub. You can go check this out if you want. And we have this one from last week, and now when we push, we should be able to see this new one from this week. All right. Once more. Doop-a-doo. Okay, so we've built it, and now we need to push it. All right. And it's saying, okay, most of it is exactly the same. And if we refresh, you can see now successfully pushed. Oof. Okay. So, oh no, I'm not consistent with my underscores and dashes. Oh well. Not a big deal. Okay, so we have a new action server image. Maybe it includes our SQLite database. Maybe it doesn't. So what we need to do now is we're going to need to update. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Come back to our SSH. So are we in the right directory? Yep. Okay, so now we need to, I'm just going to quickly check the Docker Compose override. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay, so now if we look at the override, you can see that we've got the first commit tag here. So we're going to need to, okay, it's all coming together. I would say I will put the success chances of this at like 30%. Because again, you know, there's some things that are missing in my understanding of how Docker works, or like I read them, but did I retain them? That's a separate question. And now we're gonna call it with DB. All right. And then we're gonna exit. All right, and now we need to restart the Docker image and let's pop in here. All right, so we need to take down Docker Compose and then push it up again. And we are already in the right directory for that, so it's Docker Compose down. And it's shutting down everything what it's got. And now when we restart it, it'll look in the override and be like, okay, this is the image that I'm going to create my action server from. I'm going to create it. And maybe this has the server in it. Again, I don't know. The more I think about it, the more the likelihood that I think this is going to work goes down. All right, and then we're going to put it up. And I actually do want the log because I want to know what's going on. So in the docs it says with this D tag to do it silently, but you know what? I would prefer to know what's happening. That would be my personal preference. Ugh. All right. Enrique says, Total Recall, good movie. Not, I would say, what I have when it comes to retaining particularly written material. All right, it's all happening. It's going. It's up. Fabulous. Yeah, fingers crossed. Randall says, I know it's in the doc somewhere, but the command is docker build, account username, repository name, custom image tag. Yes. I also remember seeing it in the docs, and I couldn't find it. Could I have searched for it? It just occurs to me, yes, and I think that would actually probably be significantly more helpful. And what should be happening now, actually, is if we pop open our Rasa X instance, you can see we've been signed out, because it is restarting. Whew. I'm nervous. And you can see, you know, us messing around with the DigitalOcean instance. I ain't gonna lie, I'm nervous. If this doesn't work, I guess I will try and find the things I was reading previously again. We'll find out. I guess my assumption, so why do I think this will work? I guess my assumption is that the Rasa SDK is looking for everything in the actions folder and is taking all of that, and not just the specific file named actions. And if that's not the case, then we're going to have to do what they were talking about in the docs. They were talking about how you extend from scratch. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. So they're talking about how you extend from scratch this sort of like base Docker image to create your other images off of. So this is like their hello world example. And what we'll have to do if the thing that I'm hoping works, I don't know if it's gonna or not, is we'll have to create a new Docker image with a new Docker file, upload that to Docker Hub, and then tell Docker Compose where to find it and what to do with it. And all of those steps are going to require me to be much better at knowing how to do Docker than I currently am. So I would prefer not to do that. I'm sure I could figure it out. I don't think it would be necessarily great to watch. Maybe it would be. I don't know. Sometimes people really enjoy the learning sessions. All right, it's talking. Getting Rasa X up. Moving the database. That's cool. Also, just as a reminder, I will not be here next Wednesday. No office hours. I'm going to be up in the mountains with my dog. It should be a fun time. But lots of cool stuff coming up. So I don't think I've talked about L3AI recently. Tickets are now available. I'll pop up the website for y'all. So it's l3ai.dev. It's going to be in June. Totally online. I'm pretty sure it's free, but I think the workshops, if you want like a hands-on workshop tutorial thing, I think we're charging for those. Don't quote me on that. But there should be lots of really, really good talks. We've got, Alex and Alan are giving talks. They're fantastic. Lots of folks from the team. Rachel, that's you. That's me. Heather from T-Mobile, who is like, she's so good. Anyway, I love Heather. Her talk's gonna be amazing. She had a fantastic talk last year too about like how she learned to actually enjoy bots and like began to understand like what they were useful for and good ways to use them. Greg from Salesforce, Greg is great. Anyway, lots and lots of really cool talks. And these are like just the first people that we've confirmed with. So also I think we're still looking for speakers. So if you want to give a talk, yeah, we'd love to have folks from our community giving talks. So yeah, check that out. Booked already. Hey, nice to hear. Nice to hear. All right, Nick says you should create a WordPress website Docker image and use the Rasa web chat snippet. Paste an insert header and footer section to show the live bot display and everything. Yeah. So we can talk about that a little bit because we have a preference here. Nick says 2.6 update is coming on May 6th. Yes, 2.6 has some really fun stuff in it that I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I really appreciate working in a team that has such like a, what are the words that I'm looking for? New things are happening and like improvements are being made, and they're being made because, users need them. And that's really nice. It feels very user-centered. So it'll just scroll forever. Okay. I guess I should do something. Seeing 200s, which is good. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So it should be like, I'm online. I now see why the D tag or the D flag is added. Escape? Nope, that does nothing. Okay. So I don't know how to stop this rolling. But yeah, let's try Rasa X and see if it works, because 200 tag should mean that we are good to go. Let me see if I can... There we go. I pushed this back. Oh, I'm nervous. All right. All right. Let's give that a shot. All right, let's talk to it. Can you recommend a book? Hmm. Hmm. All right. I'm actually just gonna... I'm just gonna close this terminal instance and start a new one. So we didn't get what we were looking for. So we got the same thing that happened last time, right? We got the correct action being identified, the correct slots being noted. Let's try something else. I'm pretty sure it's not the conversation part. I'm pretty sure it's the action part. Yeah, all right. So the action is being triggered correctly, but what we're not getting is we're not getting back the information, which I'm guessing is because of... Ooh, All right, I gotta remember SSH space. Nope. And then... Oh, handy. And then root E2. So I'm pretty sure what's happening is that we did not, in fact, succeed in getting the database to work. So yeah, that'll do it. We need the IP address, not the URL. Okay. And I'm audible again. Fantastic. All right. So let's get the logs. Okay, I know we did this last time. Can I remember the correct commands in the correct order? So Docker PS. Okay, so we are using the right server. We are using the right image. Good, correct. That's what we want. We did good. Good job, us. And then is it Docker logs? I'm pretty sure I don't have enough information. Docker logs. All right, and then the container. And I copied that. All right, let's see. Yeah, all right, so it's the same error. Exception occurred while handling URI, the webhook. Yeah, well... this is also a problem for future H. We'll handle that in the future. But the problem is not with Rasa and Rasa X. The problem is with us not being able to find our database. Ugh. My quick fix is not a fix. My idea of what might work did not, in fact, work. Yeah, so it is failing to find the table that I'm looking for. Although, actually... One sec. Let me check something out. Hold up. Let me quickly undo this. EDUDB, EDU resources. No. No. This is a new error. This is a new and different error. All right. Okay, so... Things are looking up. The error is not that it did not find the database. The error is that it did not find the table within the database, which is a different error, which means it did find the database. Maybe. Okay, so let's go down and check out this create connection I created. And I actually want more space, so let's check that. Yeah, okay, so we don't... Oh, we did actually have that. So we should have gotten an error about connecting and we didn't. All right, so creating connection was successful. Otherwise, we would have gotten an error. Yeah, I think we're doing it. I think the error is something different, and I think we are actually connecting to our database. We're just not getting the table we expect. Why is this? Okay, so the error is coming after we create the cursor. The cursor is being successfully created. It's successfully connecting to the database. If it wasn't, we'd get a different error, which tells me it's a SQL query. And that I feel comfortable fixing. I've made a lot more mistakes in SQL than I have in Docker, which means that I'm better at fixing them. All right. Okay, so let's check out, where's my... Let me check out this. All right. Edu resources. All right, that should be what it is. Resources DB. All right, that should be correct. Mysterious. So sorry, what I'm just checking now is that's right. SQL connect edge to, and we should update this, right? So it should be connecting to 1UP, and then in the actions folder, and then the resources DB, right? Because right now we're in this edu DB directory, so we should go 1UP and then down into actions and then down to this resources database again. Resources DB, and there should be a file called edu resources, yeah? And there should be a table called edu resources, which we do not have currently. Okay. So, are we also getting this problem locally? That's a good question. Let's find out. Did I misspell actions? Sure did. Oh, right. Conda activate. Is it called Fresh Rasa install? Nope. So the reason I was getting Rasa install demo. Gotcha. So the reason I was getting that error is that I am currently in a Conda instance that does not have Rasa installed in it. So I'm going to go to my Conda instance that does. Now I should be able to do Rasa run actions. Okay, we've got a Conda thing going on here. Interesting. Log for the that Randall was saying Docker logs Rasa app 1. Oh, interesting. I'm gonna try that as well. Just to see if we get the same information out. Yep, same information, same error. Okay, so that is so that looks like it's actually an easier way to get the logs than getting the specific container ID. Sorry, I'm in the mic. right, and it looks like we have a separate problem with my Docker instance, which I guess doesn't, sorry, not my Docker instance, my Conda instance, which I guess doesn't surprise me a whole bunch, because I was messing around with it quite a bit the other day. So, yeah, I think at this point we're in the area of another bug. So I think it worked. I think it worked, because if it hadn't worked, the error that we would have gotten, and I'm pretty sure the error that we got last time was that the database connection didn't exist. And here, instead, we're getting an error after the database connection has been created, that a table doesn't exist. So I'm pretty sure that what we tried, adding the resources database to the same folder where we were keeping our actions, and then creating a new image, and then pushing that image, and then changing the Docker override to point to that image, and then restarting our Rasa X instance did work. I think that worked. Which is good. And now we have a new error. And I guess we'll try that next time. I don't know. Somebody asked me recently about the live coding project we had before this. It's like a quiz where you go through and you type how you say a bunch of different words, and it guesses like where in the United States that you're from. And someone was like, "Hey, is that live anywhere?" I was like, "No, I took it down." So I might put that up live just so we can have a win, and just make our lives a little bit easier, and just sort of like show how to do things in a way that I've successfully done before, and then get back into the nitty-gritty of this, because now it's a SQL error, which I feel much more confident about solving, but I'm not entirely sure why it's a SQL error. I think that there's something that my mental model of what's happening in my database is not actually what's happening in my database, so I need a way to, so I'm going to need to spend some time digging a little bit more into the SQLite database and getting the structure of it and understanding what's going on to fix the problem that we have. So, with that in mind, I would say it's a success, but it's one of those, it's like last week, right? We got the action server up and running. Yay! We still can't have our assistant do the specific thing that we're looking for it to do. So a little, it's not really a Pyrrhic victory, but it's a little bit of a hollow victory, you know? That's okay. Incremental steps, we'll get there. Thank you all for your help, Randall. I appreciate it. Yeah, and the real victory is that I do feel like I am learning more about Docker Compose specifically and understanding these processes more. And I don't know, hopefully y'all are as well. Hopefully you're learning with me and you feel enriched in some way. All right, so I will be back on Thursday. Sign up for L3AI if you haven't yet. It's L3-AI dev, L3 like level 3. Like there's if you haven't heard of like the 5 levels of autonomous driving was sort of like the original thing, and then we have like a model at Rasa about the 5 levels of conversational AI. And if that's the sort of thing that you enjoy, you should seek that out. But this is for the 3rd level of conversational AI, and that's the focus. All right, and I'll figure out what's going on with my Conda install on my own time, because that's gonna be a problem, but I'll handle that in the future. All right. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next Thursday for reading group when we will read a paper. It'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. All right, I'll talk to you then. Have a great day.